Welcome to the Path Monk Presents podcast. My name is Sean Donnelly Lewis, and today we're talking with Ayush Jain, and he is the CEO at CodeGrip.tech. Ayush, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going very well, actually. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, well, with Corona times, it's not a given, is it?
Yeah. I think, again, I think only like every disruption is like an opportunity. So, like just making the most of whatever the day calls.
So tell us about CodeGrip. What are you guys doing? Why do you do it?
Sure. So, CodeGrip is a automated code review platform. Basically, it helps companies be able to automate their reviews of code, which is something like usually a very like sidelined item in most developments, where like people would just develop it out and then later go on catching bugs. With CodeGrip, there's a more proactive approach to catching bugs and to manage the product quality and the way the code is written. So we have a lot of different tests and functions with which basically every time the developer would commit the code, they would test against it and automatically provide a report, which the best part is easy to understand in a manner that even the non-tech founder can really understand where their company's code is going. So that is like the gist of it.
So it sounds like a company that, or a service that could be for everyone. So you work with big companies, small companies, everyone.
Yeah, in a way, yes.
Okay. Well, why don't you talk about some of your clients then for a second? What are some of the work that you've been able to do?
Sure. So we actually have been like we launched the company around 18 months back, and till date we have close to 1,000 customers that have been using our platform. Uh, like there have been like a lot of startups using our platform. There have been few larger companies as well using the platform. But we've seen a surge really, with companies having being headed by say a non-tech founder that are using a platform, because many times before CodeGrip, like getting control on how your code is being done was a nightmare for most founders. Like the development team would be doing it, but then they do not really know, apart from functions, that whether the stuff that is built up is good or not. So that's what we are helping with, and it's been a really great. We're serving a lot of non-tech founders, and many of these companies have actually used CodeGrip right from their MVP stage, and be able to probably launch their products in time and have this successful funding. So I believe that CodeGrip has been able to play a small part in their overall journey.
Very cool. And so you're saying you guys are just 18 months in. How have you guys been able to grow the company? Has it been digital marketing? Has it been SEO, SEM? Has it been referrals? What have you guys used?
Yeah. Our whole marketing is actually online marketing. So it involves basically all these things put together, I'd say. So there's a SEO, SEM, and then there's paid ads as well, and as well as then eventually start ranking for keywords and start being more visible so that people could find you. And also we do a lot of influencer marketing, as well as like partnering up. So all the different things we do.
And what role does the website play in growing your business?
Yeah, I think website is the entry point to a business. So the eventually all these channels accumulate to getting people to the website. So website is like the most important, or the 100% marketing method.
So yeah, I'm looking at the website. It looks really great. What would you say is probably the strength of the website? Is it the ability to convert those people visiting the page, or the quality of leads that you generate through it, the user experience? Which one of those three do you think is the strongest?
Yeah, see, I think first of all, I'd say that it's still a work in progress. So we are never happy actually with the website, like always tweaking and changing things. Like right now, in fact, today we are doing some changes. But then that being said, I'd say, like the ability to basically make people come at different points on the website and eventually go to our funnel. I think that's where we really focus on and have been able to pull to an extent.
And so you just touch on that for a second, because he said And I hear this a lot on the show. A lot of people say, the website is such a work in progress, right? So if you were to improve those things on the website, what would it be? Would it be the converted users, or the quality of leads, the user experience? Which one?
Yeah, like decrease bounce rate and say, increase the conversion rate from a visitor to say filling the form, for example, to becoming say a prospect, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously, you're continuing working on the website. I think it's that step for step, right? You have to continually come back to it. And like I said, hear it all the time. Coming back to what you guys do at CodeGrip, um, just for everyone listening, what would you say you guys do that is a little different than other people that are doing the same thing?
Sure. So for CodeGrip, like we have some features that are very different and say increase the ease of use and increase the usage for the end user. Like just like I was mentioning that the tool is basically designed to do some tests. Now with CodeGrip, people can define their own test and basically can include or exclude some tests. So basically, whatever is important for them, they can keep it basically like they want to test their builds against that. So you create your own test basically for your developers. So that is one. Then the second thing is that it is fully integrable with the most common team tools like Slack, for example, or Jira. So basically, all your reports and everything like go out into your own team meetings or on your Slack and everything. So, like I was mentioning, like one of the most important use case for us was CEOs basically getting a handle of how the product is being built. So even the CEO can basically get an daily update on his Slack or whatever tools, even email, like how much code was done today, what was the quality of it, and so on. So overall, it inspires overall the team to do good and be able to match against a performance benchmark. So that is there. And then of course just like say like an antivirus, we consider that we are also providing a solution which is into say errors and rectification. I'd say that our database overall is very comprehensive. The cases covered are pretty much constantly updated, so pretty good coverage and pretty good use for the people, because just like antivirus, if you can catch as many viruses, that is important. So similarly, we are catching errors and bugs. So as many as we can catch up, and as many border scenarios we can cover. That's like our competitive edge.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're a CEO, founding company. I would just love to pick your brain for a second and see the way that you think and the way that you do business. So when it comes to growth, when it comes to challenges, growing, when I say the word innovation, what would you say is the biggest challenge for growth when I say innovation?
Execution.
What do you mean by that? Execution.
Yeah, because in my experience, I find that we are always filled with ideas, especially as CEO. I think like I come to every meeting with new idea, to be honest. But being able to pull each of these ideas takes time and effort, and that's important, of course. So what happens is that everything starts with that shiny idea, but then to be able to really use it and be able to execute it is very, very important. So eventually like innovation needs execution is what
Very cool. I like that. So what would be the biggest challenge keeping the same idea? Biggest challenge in growth when I say a word like ROI, or when I say return on investment?
Mhm. Okay. So for me, I think clear metrics to be able to figure out. Like what happens is many times you are in between. Like you did something, but then it did not create say that 10x impact or 100x impact, but maybe it created a 1x impact. But then you are thinking whether it was a success or a failure or what it was, because it maybe did not move the things. By an extent, but maybe it created a small impact. So many times it becomes difficult to measure the impact of of the changes or the innovation.
And one more, when I say conversion optimization, what would you say is the biggest challenge in growth?
Right. I think for me, I'd answer to differentiate the needle from the shaft in a way, like basically like because it is constant experimentation. So many times you are consistently like one executing those different ideas, and each execution would take you time, and then you are still thinking whether it worked, or then you feel tired, like switching to the next experiment and then another. So you like you would like to get that winner quickly, but it takes a lot of time most of the time.
I just want to switch gears here a second and talk about you as a leader. Ayush, what content do you consume to educate yourself and grow as a person and as a professional?
Sure. I mean, lately, so one, I think books is definitely the way to go. So I read as many bestsellers, or whenever I find something over the internet or someone telling that, okay, this is a great book to learn this thing, especially in sales and marketing, and say everything related. I'm usually getting those books and giving a hand. So that has been my go-to resource. Apart from that, like lately, I've spent, of course, a lot of time taking courses also. So I'm doing a lot of like courses around, say, again, digital marketing and growth hacking, and different ways to improve and be able to come with ideas eventually. Like I consider these are like the inputs that you give to your brain to be able to get the outputs.
Do you do any podcasts or anything like that?
Yeah, I do actually. So I'm the chapter director for my city's startup grind. So we do a monthly event where I post like the one story, like success, unsuccess, or like any of the founders or any learning. So usually, like I do a podcast, one podcast, not as frequent as you do, but yeah,
Right.
one.
Very cool. Okay, we're slowly coming to the end of the interview, but before we end, we always have a rapid fire section. So I just ask you questions and you answer them as quickly as possible. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's scary, but let's go with it.
No, I believe in you. You could do it. All right.
Sure,
So,
let's.
Ayush, you said reading books. Tell me about what was the last book that you read?
Content chemistry. So that is the book called Content Chemistry. Yeah, by this time. Yeah, Andy Castatina.
Okay. What's the single thing that your company is focused on at the moment the most?
As a company, we are focused on growth.
What's that?
Growth.
Growth. Yep. All right. Well, you're at the right place for it. If there were no boundaries in technology, just imagine a world with no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing you want to have fixed for your company today?
Yeah, faster execution.
All right. Faster execution. What is the last thing that kept you awake at night about your company?
Yeah, the numbers that we are trying to achieve at the end of the year.
What's if you were to start over, let's just say your professional career, what would be the one piece of advice you give yourself?
I'd say read more as soon as possible. Like I probably started late. I'd say learn as much as like learn as early as possible, because the cost of mistakes becomes more and more as you take like you go later in the life. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, that was Ayush Jain, and you can check out all the work that they're doing at codegrip.tech. Ayush, thank you so much for being on the show. But before we end, we always give our guests the last word. So if there's anything that you want to say, you feel like we left something out, or if you just want to sum up everything that we talked about, I just want to let you have the last word today. The floor is yours.
Okay, sure, guys. I mean, like this is my third startup actually. So, of course, the journey is still on, but I do believe that it is important to just keep digging. And I found that every time it's a new learning, but you can also kind of eventually learn and be able to replicate it. So, like having a strong team, building a strong foundation, all these things eventually become the most important foundation. And then have fun, I'd say, whatever you're doing.
Ayush, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sean.